On a desolate, snowy road, the scene was heavy with silence, broken only by the faint whisper of the wind brushing against the trees that lined the path. The snow stretched endlessly, untouched and pure, yet in this stillness lay a tragedy that pierced through the cold. At the roadside was the figure of a snowy owl mother, her white feathers blending with the snow but stained faintly with traces of injury. Her wing was bent at an unnatural angle, broken severely, rendering her helpless. Beside her were her two tiny owlets, huddled together, their small bodies trembling from both the freezing temperature and the absence of their mother's warmth and strength. The accident that brought them to this desperate state was the result of a passing vehicle, a sudden collision that left the majestic bird wounded and her family's survival uncertain. Time itself seemed to slow, as though the forest and snow were holding their breath, awaiting what would happen next. The rescue team arrived, their presence cutting through the despair with a flicker of hope. They moved with deliberate caution, knowing that every moment was precious. The mother owl's condition was grave, and the first step was to stabilize her. Kneeling carefully in the snow, the rescuers extended their hands, gentle yet steady, to begin the delicate process of tending to her wounds. They cleaned her plumage, each feather treated with respect, as though they were handling something sacred. Her broken wing was inspected and supported, her pain acknowledged with soft voices and precise care. First aid was applied not only to reduce her suffering, but also to give her a fighting chance against infection and further deterioration. The air was thick with tension, for her life depended on their skill and urgency, and the fragile line between survival and loss was drawn clearly in that moment. As the mother owl was tended to, the rescuers turned their attention to the owlets. Their chirps were faint, trembling notes of fear and hunger, cries that spoke of their vulnerability in a world too harsh for their tender age. Food and water were offered, droplets of sustenance against the biting cold. The little ones ate cautiously, their movements slow but desperate, fueled by instinct and the faint sense of safety provided by the rescuers' presence. Each small sound they made echoed the fragility of life in the wild, where survival was always a precarious balance and where the efforts of humans could mean the difference between despair and recovery. The rescuers recognized this, their actions carried not just by duty but by a deep reverence for the lives before them. With the immediate crisis momentarily contained, preparations were made to transport the owl family to safety. A secure carrier was readied, lined with warmth to protect them from the freezing winds outside. The mother, though weakened, was carefully lifted and placed inside, her eyes reflecting both pain and resilience. The owlets followed, their small forms nestled beside her, the family once again together, shielded from the relentless cold. The carrier was closed gently, and with it began their journey toward the Animal Rescue Center, where long-term care awaited. Every bump in the road felt significant, every turn a reminder of the fragile passengers within, but hope guided the way forward, carrying them closer to a second chance. Upon arrival at the center, the snowy owl family was greeted by a team of specialists, their expertise and compassion shining through the urgency of their movements. The mother owl was immediately examined, her body scanned by X-rays that revealed the full extent of her wing fracture. The injury was severe, but not beyond repair. A treatment plan was devised with meticulous detail, combining advanced wound care with pain management to give her the best possible chance at recovery. Bandages were applied with precision, medications administered with care, and throughout it all her dignity as a wild creature was preserved. The veterinary team understood that their task was not only medical, but also deeply moral, a responsibility to heal, to respect, and to restore what had been broken by human impact. The owlets, meanwhile, were monitored closely, their growth and nourishment carefully tracked. They were given warmth, food, and safety, their fragile lives supported in every possible way. Each day brought signs of progress, their chirps growing stronger, their movements more confident. Though still dependent, they showed resilience, a testament to the strength of life when given the chance to flourish. The mother owl, despite her pain, watched over them, her presence still a source of comfort even in her weakened state. The bond of family remained unbroken, carried through hardship and nurtured by care. Time at the rescue center unfolded like a series of small victories. Each meal consumed, each feather preened, each movement of the mother's healing wing marked another step forward. The team celebrated these moments quietly, knowing that recovery was not a single triumph but a journey of countless milestones. The snowy owl mother, once at the brink of death, now endured with resilience, her body responding to treatment, her spirit unyielding. Her owlets, once trembling in the snow, now grew into stronger, healthier young birds, their feathers thickening, their cries echoing with vitality. The story of this rescue carried with it a deeper meaning, one that extended beyond the lives of a single owl family. It was a testament to the extraordinary dedication of those who choose to protect the vulnerable, who work tirelessly not for recognition, but for the preservation of life itself. It was a reminder of the fragile balance between human progress and the natural world, and of the responsibility to safeguard the creatures who share this earth with us. The snowy road where tragedy had unfolded was not the end of the story, but the beginning of another chapter, one of healing, resilience, and hope. In the quiet halls of the rescue center, the snowy owl family continued their recovery, each day bringing them closer to the possibility of release. The mother's wing, though still healing, showed promise, and with time perhaps she would soar once again. The owlets, now stronger, were learning the instincts of survival under careful guidance, preparing for the day when they too would take flight into the open skies. The vision of their future was one of freedom, of wings stretched wide against the horizon, a symbol of survival against all odds. The rescue of the snowy owl family stands as a promise, a declaration that every effort to protect wildlife matters, no matter how small or difficult. It is a story not only of tragedy and recovery, but of resilience and the unyielding will to survive. In the end, it is a story of hope, hope that one day the mother owl and her owlets will return to the wild, soaring freely once again, their wings cutting through the air as a symbol of endurance and the beauty of life restored. The snowy road will remain in memory, a place where despair once reigned, but where compassion triumphed. And as long as such efforts continue, there will always be a chance for the broken to be healed, for the lost to be found, and for the wild to thrive.